What's up, my friends? My name's iirix, and today I have another deck tech for you. Today's deck is Scion of the Dragon. And yes, that is a foil. Be jealous. Be jealous. This was a card that was acquired way back when Scion was like, whatever, nobody cared, because it was back when the set first came out, and it wasn't worth anything. Scion of the Dragon regular, I think, was 50 cents, maybe $1. The foil was $2. Nobody cared. And then EDH became a thing, and it went up some, but it didn't go much higher than, I think, 15, 20 bucks. And then when they announced Dragons of Tarkir, now he's like $100 foil. It's ridiculous. And the funny thing is, this was pulled out of a pack with a regular Scion of the Dragon right in front of it. It was a double rare, double Scion in one pack. It was ridiculous. But anyway, enough of talking about the rare foiliness. Today's deck is a 5-color dragon deck, obviously based around Scion's ability of, let's kind of zoom in, pseudo zoom in, yeah. Okay, so it's white, blue, black, red, green for a 4/4 flying. Search your library, 2 to play, 2 to cost 2 to use his ability. Search your library for a dragon card and put it into your graveyard. If you do, Scion of the Dragon becomes a copy of that card until end of turn. Then shuffle your library. Ridiculous. It's a 5-color, unfortunately only for dragons, but 5-color toolbox. It's just stupid. Whatever you need, it's ridiculous. So, get right into it. I have it sorted out by colors like usual. Starting out with the white, we have Yosei the Morning Star. And that's it for creatures. All right. Then we have Earnest Fellowship, which is just ridiculous. Scion gets protection from all colors for 2. Oblation, because you need removal. Day of Judgment. Phyrexian Rebirth. And Plains. 1, 2, 3, 4 Plains. Next we have blue. Kaiga, the Tide Star. And blue is done. Now we have the islands. 1, 2. Blue is not a huge part of the deck. It's kind of just there for Scion and multicolors. That we got in black, Nezumi Grave Robber. Because once you throw all your dragons in the graveyard, you use the Grave Robber to pay 5 to put back into play. Oversold Cemetery puts it back in hand, which won't be hard to meet that 4. Let's back up. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 4 more creatures cards in your graveyard. Not going to be hard to do when for 2 mana you dump one of your creatures with Scion. We got Buried Alive. Same purpose as Oversold Cemetery and the Nezumi Grave Robber. Living Death is another thing that works with it. Patriarch's Bidding. Obviously, you play this deck, you're going to pick dragons every time. Demonic Collusion to tutor out any of those. Unburial Rites brings a creature back from the grave. Life's Finale. Global Destruction. Twilight's Call, bring all your creatures back. Then we got Swamp. Black is a huge part of the deck. So we got 5, 6 Swamps. A Barren Moor, and then the red. Got Anger, because dragons weren't scary enough. Now they're fast, too. Molten Steel Dragon. I've had this one work out really well, where Scion connects, and you just kind of go, all right, whatever. So I guess... for example, that puts you at 14 commander damage. 21 and you lose the game, right? Well, for 2 mana, let's just go ahead and take Molten Steel Dragon, and he becomes that. Oh, look at that. I'm just going to pay the 12 life to do the remaining 6 damage I need. So, surprise, you're dead. We got Hellkite Tyrant, Dragon Mage, Balefire Dragon, Utvara Hellkite. This one is one of the most scary dragons in the deck because, well, it's tons of dragons, right? I mean, there's a few non-dragons in there, but for the most part, it's dragons. So when a dragon you control attacks, put a 6/6 red dragon token with flying on the battlefield. That's insane. Dragon Tyrant. Fervor for more haste. And then the land. Mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And green is done already. Forest, 1, 2, 3, 4. But never mind. I sorted that weird. Okay, alright. Just kidding. Oh, sorry guys. I thought I had it sorted out properly. Green, Steely Resolve. Dense Foliage. Cultivate. See, that makes more sense. Now, with a 5-color deck, Cultivate and Explosive Vegetation. Shard Convergence 2. Okay, yeah, this seems more appropriate. Asceticism. And then the Forest. I must have got mixed up when I was sorting the deck for the video. Multicolors. We have Kalia of the Vast. Why? Well, in my playgroup, we don't really use Kalia. I do. But that's for just for the colors mostly. She was the best one in those colors, and it's a Punisher deck. Everybody loses life, creatures, land, something to do something. My friend's Kalia is right here, obviously. Or my friend doesn't really use Kalia that much. But it's like, she's good, but it's just so linear. It's just dragons, go. Just cheat stuff into play. It's kind of dumb. So, my play group, we don't really use her as the general too often. We prefer Tyrael. It's more fun. It keeps things more interesting. We have Arcades Sabbath, Nicol Bolas, Chromium, Vevictus Asmati, Palladia Mors, because this isn't EDH unless you have the original 5 Elder Dragons, right? Teneb the Harvester, Intet the Dreamer, Bladewing the Risen, Silumgar the Drifting Death, Karthus, Tyrant of Jund, Hellkite Overlord, non-creature multicolor spells, Mortify, Slave of Bolas, Cauldron Dance, Immortal Servitude, Sarkhan the Mad, because obviously. And then the lands, we have Orzhov Basilica. I'm going to kind of move these out of the way. Dismal Backwater, Rakdos Guildgate, Akum Refuge, Rakdos Carnarium, Grasslands, Blossoming Sands, Trilands, Seaside Citadel. Never mind, just one. Pillar of Perunes, Exotic Orchard, Rupture Spire, Transguild Promenade, and Command Tower. The land base in this deck was built on a budget, and you don't, with all those options out there for cheap dual lands, you don't really need the shock lands. The fetches are good, but you don't need to have them. You know, the deck functions just fine without having those expensive lands. Into the artifacts, we have Steel Hellkite, and then Soul Ring, Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots, because haste is still super scary with the Scion of the Ur-Dragon. Chromatic Lantern fixes your mana problems. Champion's Helm, Whisper Silk Cloak, Crystal Ball, Grimoire of the Dead, Gilded Lotus, still helping those manas. Dragon Arch, Belby's Portal, Legacy Weapon, Terramorphic Expanse, kind of move this up here a little bit, Evolving Wilds, Crystal Quarry, Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, and a Temple of the False God. I stopped for a second there because I was going to say, with Gilded Lotus, it gives you 1 color, 3 mana of that color. Usually, by the time you get Gilded Lotus out, you're fine. So I was gonna say, you know, it's kind of on the chopping block, but it's hard to take Gilded Lotus out because it's so good. You got Soul Ring, you got Chromatic Lantern. There should be a Darksteel Ingot in here somewhere. But I think Gilded Lotus might have taken a place of Ingot because it's Gilded Lotus. It's good. It's a good card. You know, even if it only provides 1 color at a time, it still provides 3. It's a good card. So that's where my mind was there. But anyway, there's the Scion of the Ur-Dragon EDH deck. It can be fun. I don't like it too much because it's rather toolbox, and I don't like playing toolbox. It's just a deck full of silver bullets, and that's fine once in a while. But when you start doing that frequently, it does get tiresome. So, I mean, if that's your thing, if that's how you want to play, if you're looking to be competitive, toolbox is great. But I play in a casual group. None of us, well, I shouldn't say none of us. There's 1 or 2 of us in my play group that like to be a little bit more, how do I say, cutthroat, I suppose. very competitive in the format. Most of us like to play casually and go, hey, look at this. It's a deck. It's full of elves. Ha ha ha. Elves obviously being super weak and not too powerful in tribal, or in tribal EDH, but you know, that's kind of the format we go. It's just fun. And so that's why this deck doesn't have all the expensive lands in it. It doesn't have, you know, a ton of the, like, the Pact of Negation or anything, Pact of Summoning, you know. It's a budget Scion of the Ur-Dragon deck. And where I say budget, with a foil Scion of the Ur-Dragon, it was pulled from a pack. So before anybody wants to leave me hate comments going, oh, you talk about budget, you could probably trade Scion for full set of fetches, cons fetches anyway. Like, it was a pull. It came from a pack. So, but anyway, that's Scion of the Ur-Dragon. If you enjoyed watching that deck, well, thank you. I hope it was good, even though my ramblings and my lack of really, you know, in-depth discussion about it, because it's toolbox. I mean, it's simple, it's straightforward. But if you like the deck, check out some of the other decks I've put up. Subscribe to my channel so you can see future decks I put up. Leave a like if you like Scion of the Ur-Dragon. Leave a comment down below if you think there's some things that are better for the deck. It is a budget deck. Please keep that in mind before you put any suggestions in the comments. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.